Yeah, what does this mean now? Because my guess is 3 weeks minimum. If everything is quote-unquote fine, we're still probably looking. You're talking about a dislocation of his throwing thumb is not a small thing.
Yeah, if it were his other hand, you might still have an opportunity to do some stuff. And who knows, maybe there's a miracle that it automatically reset and they're just dealing with swelling and he'll be fine and he'll play against Vegas on Sunday, or he'll play the week after that. I just think that when you start to add everything up in the evaluation process of Justin Fields, if he misses more than a week, you're asking him and Luke Getty to do a lot of work between now and the end of the season to convince you to not use your assets to go find another quarterback. I think that's a lot of work. It's funny. A texter actually asked me a really good question about this. T19 texter says, Lawrence, are there any current quarterbacks that you would take over Justin right now if the season ended, or would you prefer a new offensive coordinator and build around Justin? And this text says that's the camp that they're in. I still think that Justin has a world of potential, but he's 30 games into bad habits now. And sometimes it takes a while for guys to get out of it. I've been trying to figure out whether we were talking to Tim Jenkins or I was talking with Olin Kreutz, chicken or the egg. And I think that it's like this for most quarterbacks, not just Justin.
Nature versus nurture.
Well, like the last 2 weeks, we've seen the offense take a step forward. Was that because the offensive line play was terrific? And in the Washington game, the pocket was so perfect that it would have been hard for Fields to not have a good game. But even in that, he still only hit, 51% of his passes in the game. He made the right call of going to DJ Moore a lot more. I just feel like there's a lot of time. There's if you're the Bears, you can't walk into this with him as the presumptive quarterback of the future. You now have to look at your contingencies.
Yeah, this is what you're saying, without really saying it directly, is it's over.
It feels like it's over.
The injury, it's through no specific fault of his own now, but now that you take out, he regressed to start the year.
Yeah.
So you lost all that time, and it makes those 2 good games. We'll remember those.
Yeah.
And maybe another team.
As we should.
Will remember those. But it may just be now, if he's going to miss 3 weeks, if he's going to miss a month, that's probably it.
To speak to the texter's point, when you do look at those games, and the thing about it is you see that there's ability, and there's ability inside of an NFL body, because he's basically Build-A-Bear quarterback, right? If you go into Madden and say, can you build me a quarterback? Okay, cool. What does he look like? Well, he's 6'3" and he's 225 pounds. Okay, good start. Does he have a strong arm? Oh, yeah, he's got a really strong arm. Is he mobile? He might be the most mobile. That should be enough for things. Like, if you're starting with that as your clay, that should be enough to build you a quarterback. And it hasn't happened. And trying to discern whether that's on him or on Luke Getty or Matt Nagy before that is really difficult. I still think that there's a player there. I just think that the Bears can't use this opportunity that's in front of them to not look. Now, had Fields balled out, and I'm extremely disappointed in the way that the first half of yesterday's game went. Not just him getting injured, but how it looked like there was a regression of the things that he had done well and learned in the last 2 games and just kind of forgot about in this game.
It was more than forget about. So many things conspired to make his life difficult. He made his own life difficult. The protection's inability to account for blitzers made his life difficult.
And that's on him too.
And then
partly
the snap. Like how even to just confidently, comfortably begin a play with your eyes where you want them. Everything started to crumble.
I get what you're talking about.
I'm not making any excuses for him. He was bad.
He was bad. And the protection we often think of as being just the offensive line. That's the protection. There are some cases where the quarterback has to account for
A hot read is protection.
Mhm.
Getting the ball out is protection.
Throwing the ball away is protection.
Taking a sack instead of trying to fight it to the bitter end.
What I'd love to see in a perfect world, and you're probably not going to see this because it's a hard needle to thread as an organization, and this organization is not particularly built to do it. If a healthy Justin Fields makes it back and then he plays good enough where you're like, well, maybe, I would be okay with them drafting whomever they think is the best quarterback in this year's draft. Justin comes back and you say, let's fight it out and let's see what's up. I'd be okay with that. They're probably not going to do that because this will go back to one of my least favorite adages in the
If you have two quarterbacks,
Well,
you don't have any.
not that one, but not my guy. And that's what Ryan Poles gets to say. We gave him a chance. He's not my guy. I now have my guy, and I'm going to throw every resource into Drake May or Michael Penix Jr. or Caleb Williams. I'm going to throw everything I have into them, which is the way that you should go about giving. When you have a new quarterback, everything goes back to it. The development of Justin Fields, if and when this ends with him as the Bears quarterback, there's so much to dissect. We've talked about it of the Nagy days. The biggest mistake, in my opinion, that group made was making him the 2. Either he was your starting quarterback from day one, or you were committed to sitting him and making him the number 3. And they tried to do this halfway BS of, well, we got this package of plays.
Same thing that happened at Trubisky. Same thing.
So you start there. And then you go, did you hire a qualified offensive coordinator to help fix all of the things that you know went wrong with the other guy? Like, all of that stuff is available for debate.